Word to brothers and sisters, welcome back to Haiku. I do it for hip hop because that's basically where it's at. Now, if you're someone who consumes a lot of hip hop content like I do, you'd have to agree that there isn't a lot of good and credible content that is out there on the internet, particularly about the history of South African music. If you look at particularly that golden age of South African hip hop, a lot of stuff actually happened then, but it wasn't documented. And those who did document it are actually holding on to the footage for some reason because you can't basically find it anywhere on the internet. I mean, when you think about that battle that actually happened where a lot of South African rappers were put on a bus and they drove to Cape Town where they challenged Cape Town rappers, and it was like people like Squatter Camp, Stogie T, apparently Zaps and Slicker, were like the stars of the show. You can't find that content anyway. Also, when you look at the legendary Proverb versus Pro Kid battle that actually happened at Rand Easter Show, you also can find the footage to that battle as well. So the same thing happens with the music. If you look at the music that came out in the early 2000s, you realize that music, you can't find it on the internet because a lot of those rappers, they actually signed a lot of shitty contracts. So they didn't own the rights to the music. A lot of them didn't even own their IPs. So you find that when that whole migration to the digital space actually happened with the introduction of the internet, a lot of them can't put their music on because they don't have rights to that music. Proverb was also in a similar situation where with his album The Book of Proverb. But luckily for him, what he did was he actually went back to buy the masters to the album because he also wanted to put it up, only to realize that on the album he actually had a lot of samples, because during that time most of the hip hop production was basically based on samples. But now because he had those samples and most of them he couldn't clear them in order to put the album onto different DSPs, you find that now he's currently sitting with it, and you can't find it on things like Spotify and all of those apps. So it's very unfortunate, but because even when I was looking for this freestyle that I want to do a reaction to today called Head to Toe, I went onto the YouTube and I couldn't find the song anyway, you know. And then I actually had to go back into my archives to see if I can find the song there, which I actually did. So yeah, today's reaction will be to it's a very short freestyle by Proverb called Head to Toe. It's about a minute long, and it's not the best freestyle that I've heard, but it's certainly the most creative. Because what he does is he just shows you how do you diss a rapper using different body parts from head to toe. That's basically all he does. So yeah, without wasting any time, man, let's get straight into this short freestyle here.
Head to toe, the hip hop anatomy. Body pop. Check it out, what? Yo, I'm a hip hop head and I'm ahead of my time. I go head to head with anybody, cause like the news, I bring headlines. Some are big headed, but they suck like when I get hit, so I disconnect. The mic and they can never go next.
Oh, now he basically starts with the head. He says, I'm a hip hop head. I'm ahead of my time. I go head to head with anybody. Cause like the news, I bring headlines, right? So he's basically using those metaphors about the head because he's a hip hop head ahead of his time. So he's using the head. And then he says, some are big headed because they suck like when I get head. So I disconnect the mic and they can never go next. So then he moves to the neck. He uses the word I disconnect, with neck there. I disconnect the mic so they can never go next. With there's another reference to a neck there. So that's very dope.
With anybody, cause like the news, I bring headlines. Some are big headed, but they suck like when I get hit, so I disconnect. The mic and they can never go next. They give me a cold shoulder, look at my back like shoulder blades. The love in their heart must be trapped in a rib cage.
He says they give me a cold shoulder, right? So now he's done with the neck. He comes to the shoulder. He says they give me a cold shoulder. They don't have my back like shoulder blades, cause the love in their heart must be trapped in the rib cage, right? So he's taking you through these different body parts basically.
Give me your cold shoulder, look at my back like shoulder blades. The love in their heart must be trapped in a rib cage. I get sick to my stomach, they're absolutely whack. This should be like me, you brought bomb to the abstract.
Oh, flip, that's what did you say there? Just take that back a bit.
This should be like me, you brought bomb to the abstract. Instead in a rib cage, I get sick to my stomach, they're absolutely whack. This should be like me, you brought bomb to the abstract. Instead the waistline sticking in hip to make an ass out of themselves, thinking they on some shit.
Oh yeah, instead there are waistlines thinking they're hip. Let's just take that back last time.
Brought bomb to the abstract, instead the waistline sticking in hip to make an ass out. They give me a cold shoulder, look at my back like shoulder blades. The love in their heart must be trapped in a rib cage. I get sick to my stomach, they're absolutely whack.
I get sick to my stomach, right? Because he's done with the rib cage. He says now, I get sick to my stomach. They are absolutely whack. So the use of the word abs as in, your abs in your stomach, they are absolutely whack. They should be like me and write rhymes that are abstract, right? Which is abs. He's using the word abs as well to say they should be like me and write rhymes that are abstract.
Shoulder blades, the love in their heart must be trapped in a rib cage. I get sick to my stomach, they're absolutely whack. This should be like me, you brought bomb to the abstract. Instead the waistline sticking in hip to make an ass out of themselves, thinking they on some shit.
So after they should write rhymes that are abstract, instead they waste lines thinking they're hip, right? So obviously they waste lines as in, they don't make use of rhymes, right? They waste lines thinking they are hip. But he uses the word waste, obviously the body part, waste lines thinking they are hip, which references to the hip. It says to make an ass out of themselves for thinking they're on some shit. So he's moved on to the ass now. Say they make an ass out of themselves for thinking that they are on some shit, which is it's crazy.
Themselves thinking they on some shit, and they don't have the balls to bring it through. Rhymes unpredictable, come and go like a typical little prick would do.
They don't have the balls to bring it through. Their rhymes are predictable, right? So he plays on dick there to say they don't have the balls to bring it through. Their rhymes are predictable. They come and go like a typical little prick would do. So they come and go like a typical little prick would do. A little prick, like someone who's annoying, right? They come and go. They can't sit still. But also a little prick is a play on a little dick, because a little dick will come and go, right? Also like a prick, like when they're going to draw your blood, they use a prick. So a prick is like it's very quick, so it comes and goes, right? So there's a lot of double meanings here, but the bottom line is it's crazy.
Soft thinking they on some shit, and they don't have the balls to bring it through. Rhymes unpredictable, come and go like a typical little prick would do. It's stupid when dudes get faker than a bootleg, like a nun. The difference is they on their knees too big.
It's stupid when dudes get faker than a bootleg. They're like nuns. The difference is that they're on their knees to beg, right? Which is crazy to say. He's now moved on into the bootlegs now to say, this it's stupid when these dudes get faker than a bootleg. They're like nuns. The difference is they're on their knees to beg, because nuns get on their knees to pray. So these rappers, instead of like nuns, they are on their knees in order to beg.
Stupid when dudes get faker than a bootleg, like a nun. The difference is they on their knees too big. You tripping like you've been ankle tapped. You don't have the soul, you defeated. Understand all that?
You're tripping like you've been ankle tapped, right? These rappers are tripping like they've been ankle tapped, like someone tapped them on their ankles. You don't have the soul. You're defeated. Do you understand all that? So you don't have the soul. He refers to like a spirit, that a person's spirit, but also a soul of a shoe. So you don't have a soul. You're defeated, right? So defeat, as in a play on the word defeat, obviously. But you're defeated. Do you understand all that?
Not the difference is they're gonna need too big. You tripping like you've been ankle tapped. You don't have the soul, you defeated. Understand all that? You probably don't cause you're so whack. And I'ma leave you with a toe tag. It's written pros back.
Do you understand all that? You probably don't because you're so whack. And I'm gonna leave you with a toe tag that is written pros back. So a toe tag is that thing that they give you when you've passed away at in a hospital. Well, when you're at the mortuary, actually, they put a toe tag, a tag on your toe that basically has your details, so that they're able to separate who's who. So he says he's gonna leave you with a toe tag, which means he'll leave you as a dead body in a mortuary, right? With the toe tag that is written pros back. So that whole freestyle is basically about just using different body parts from the head all the way up to the toe to show to use those nice plays of trying to get at a rapper, but also using body parts, which is what that's why in the beginning he says the hip hop anatomy. But yeah, that's basically it for this reaction. It's very quick, 1 minute in, but like I said, it's very it's just a creative freestyle more than anything. And if you know Proverb, man, when it comes to his pen game, he takes his pen game very, very seriously. And yeah, that's it for today's reaction. Remember, take care of your mental, and peace and love out.